Welcome back, Cowpart Bros. Jason and I are fresh out the segment discussing the Biden administration's plan to reduce student loan debt. Jason, we're talking about throwback student loan debt, and we're also talking about throwback award shows. I haven't checked out the MTV Video Music Awards probably in about 5 years, but because I was in a position to watch it with both my sister and my mom this weekend, I was like, "Oh man, we going in the Wayback Machine." And then when I heard, "Is that Avril Lavigne?" or I saw, like, wait a sec, it didn't feel like it was 2022. It felt like it was 2008. Shit.
Yeah, just like you, you mentioned that might want to talk about this, and I actually watched the awards today, and back in the kind of school days when we were kids, maybe in high school, I was really big into award shows, music and otherwise, and the MTV Music Awards given to me all day. I loved them, kept waiting for them. That was back when I was at least really into music, so I was all about the awards. You mentioned you haven't watched them, in like 5 years or whatever. It's probably been a solid decade, maybe even two, decade and a half, whatever, for me. So when I was watching it, it was, of course, you're kind of looking back for those familiar things you're used to seeing when it comes to, style, motif, stuff like that, whether the awards the same, but then also too, like you mentioned, that I wasn't very most familiar with actual music that was played as far as the music and the awards, but there were several artists whose names I actually knew, either just from listening to Sirius XM radio in the car, or the fact that there were older artists there. I mean, the fact the show was hosted by LL Cool J. How else do we know him? Eminem was there. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. You mentioned Avril Lavigne. So in those regards, it was more familiar. So, and as a guy who hadn't watched the show in a while, and again, wasn't familiar with the music, things like that kept my attention. And again, the fact that I knew some of the artists too, that didn't hurt either. And even some of the people that I didn't know, it kind of enlightened me a little bit to who they are, some of their music. So I'm like, oh, okay, not bad, not bad, So that was kind of cool as well. Not really also surprised too when it comes to who won awards and who didn't. Now, obviously, I said mentioned Eminem was there. He was nominated for, I think, Video of the Year or something like that. Obviously, he didn't win, so of course I thought he should have won. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, to be honest with you, I was actually pleasantly surprised at how much. I don't want to say I enjoyed the show, but I want to say how I was surprised with how well it kept my interest for the entirety of the 3-ish hour show. Um, yeah, so those are kind of my initial thoughts. But yeah, not to say I'll keep watching it again, but it's not gonna be a hard no like it's been the last 10, 15 years. So
Yeah. Well, welcome back into the fold, Mr. Ross. I I always felt like the VMAs were it was I mean, it was literally just fun popcorn enjoyment. And nobody got stabbed, which is important. it's,
I
it's
didn't
not
know that's
it's
a thing. Okay,
I mean, it's a thing. It was definitely a thing at the BET Awards. Uh
no comment.
um but yeah, I my most the most interesting thing about it to me wasn't even like the artist. It was the cameo by Johnny Depp as the Moon Man.
Yep, I was surprised
Be-
by that.
because we haven't seen our good friend Johnny Depp since the Amber Heard trial. So
Well, it was a matter of time before he got back in the fold. Now that he was revealed to not be the villain in the situation, so and here we are. Him on the MTV Awards, back in the fold. People were kind of cheering that a little bit. It was at a point where I was kind of halfway paying attention. I was doing something else and I heard his voice. I'm like, is that Johnny Depp? and I look up and see he's the Moon Man. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Also, Lizzo's acceptance speech was another thing. She had been in the news recently when it comes to people trying to body shame her, of course, and no matter what your opinion is on that, I felt her speech was very good when it comes to basically saying, "Hey, I'm still winning." For her words, "I'm still winning, ho." So yeah, so you know what I mean. Again, right? I mean, so no matter what you say about her body or whatnot, the fact I will say to her is that the fact that she is confident in her skin, I think a lot of people respect that because there were Lizzo chants when she was up on stage. So people actually like and respect her, whether it be for the music or otherwise. So I will say kudos to her for that. Um, that's one another thing that's kind of stood out to me was that. Also, yeah, another thing that stood out, of course, is kind of in a way the same thing, but it seemed to be a good mix of people and celebrities and stars who didn't have that stereotypical Hollywood body. They're a little curvier, whether it was surgically enhanced or otherwise, i.e., Nicki Minaj, uh, BB Rexa also as well. So, and yes, I actually know who that is, by the way. So, but yeah, definitely, like I said, good show. Lots of good things to keep my attention, whether it be the music, the motif, the cameos, the presenters, what have you. But yeah, but I definitely see the change when it comes to music from as far as stars and whatnot from way back when. The fact that K-pop was so heavily featured on the show. I think back when we were really big watching the award shows back in the day, it was more like a British invasion in a way. Not to steal a term from the Beatles, but when it comes to all the artists that came over from like Ireland and England, now it's people artists from Korea. So what was that? I think Blackpink. I'm like initially I was like, who the hell is this? But
I
there's
know some of this stuff. I know some of this K-pop shit. Um, I'll admit it. Like, I think it's completely like oversaturated now. Like in 2 years, I feel like we're gonna be over it, or at least I hope we're gonna be over it.
well, put that akin to like boy bands from back in the day. Obviously,
See,
they were
I was gonna go with it's gonna be over in 2 years, like when Jay Z said death to auto tune.
that too. I mean, I know a lot of K-pop is really girl band and boy band kind of heavy, and even like I said, back in the days of NSYNC and Backstreet, who obviously at least Backstreet's still doing their thing, but when they're at
Yeah,
the height of their popularity,
Backstreet's back. All right.
you got it in there. Congrats. But but yeah, but they had their height of popularity, but eventually that went away, probably because some people decided to go solo, what have you, or just those kids got older, rather the fans got older and weren't spending as much money on concerts. So the K-pop thing may have its own shelf life, but you know what? The fact that it's so popular now to me is still so amazing. Um, Again, not that I'm a fan of it or anything, but I respect the hustle. We'll say of all those artists, the fact that they're so huge that they made it big in this country. Yeah, anytime you're an artist from another country that's not the United States, you can make it big in the United States. I have to say you made it. You made it. It's one thing to be huge in Canada or Korea or China, wherever you're at, Australia. But if you can make it big here and have some sort of success and sustaining power, kudos to you. Shut up. Shut up. I see that grin on your face. Shut up.
You don't even know what I'm grinning about, though.
It don't matter. But yeah, but kudos to those artists again. Whether I know who you are or not, doesn't matter. Kudos to you. Now, what were you grinning about then?
Oh, I tuned out about the whole K-pop trajectory because I'm done with it. No, I was listening to you, but I was also scanning for more Aries Spears fun because I do find it fascinating. Um, Dog, like it's not even gonna work out well for him. Like there isn't the, the only thing that's going to happen with the Aries Spears Lizzo beef is that it's going to result in people discovering that Aries Spears got his ass whooped in 2017. Talking shit to somebody on a radio show then. And the only reason I know about it, because Twitter never fails. And as soon as I saw Aries Spears being exceptionally ignorant, and I know Aries Spears is a comedian, I get it. And listen, which clearly he's not going to be canceled. He's just going to be he's going to be lightly doxxed this week, and he's gonna have a lot of people in general, go at him about his looks. But turnabout's fair play. Like, you can't say somebody looks like the poop emoji and then not expect the people to come from the rafters for you, for the mob. So I feel like he knew what he was doing. And I hope it was worth it.
Well, again, I'm not obviously not in Ari Spears' head or anything, but I'm sure he knows he's not going to get fully canceled because not. I mean, even Dave Chappelle didn't get canceled, and Dave Chappelle made fun of like a protected class of people. No offense to Lizzo, but yeah. So he's not going to get canceled. All it does is get himself attention, whether it be negative or not, because as much backlash as he might have gotten, there are people that agree with him. So if that be the case, they're still going to go out and buy a ticket to his shows. He's still going to be performing. No one's going to take him off the schedule, even if it is for a week. He'll be fine. He ain't going broke. He's good. It's about picking and choosing your battles, Terrence. But now he got some attention. He'll be good. But yeah, man. Getting back to the award show. Again, just want to point out, say actually, again, it maintained my attention. Would I give it a chance next year? Like, if Terrence came to me in 2023 this time of year and said, "Hey, let's watch the 2023 V.M.As and talk about it for the show," I probably would not fight him on it. I fight Terrence a lot on a lot of topics he might want to talk about, including this for this week. I mean, the ones in the show this week we agreed upon. But there was a couple that he wanted to talk about. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So if he brought this up next year, I would not fight him on it. I would actually consider watching it, and I might actually enjoy it.
All right, a little bit more about Aries Spears, because to me, okay, clearly he had something to say about Lizzo, but he took it a step further. And I'm just referencing this Yahoo News article. He says he bashed women in general, calling them hypocrites. You know what kills me about women is the hypocrisy and the contradiction. He said, if you really gave a fuck, why wouldn't you go, black girl? We love your confidence, boo boo, but this ain't it. This ain't it. I mean, I know that motherfucker wouldn't respond well if somebody tried to do that shit to him in the booth on that show he appeared on. That's why he's getting flamed. That's why he's getting flamed, because he does not give a fuck about whether or not Lizzo is healthy or not. He just mad because she was out there shaking her ass. And I'm not even saying that performance was good by Lizzo. I'm saying as a proud ambassador and believer in the Fat Dude Confidence Hall of Fame. Shout out to Ricky Rose. Tony Soprano. Shit. Like, it's a victimless crime. Like, just shut the fuck up, man. Like, he could have just sat there and ate his fucking food. Pun intended.
Well, again, so I think it's really the case of the messenger, to be honest with you, because because there have been other people that say stuff about Lizzo, including fitness. I don't say experts, but fitness influencers or whatever. Jillian Michaels, I remember some time ago, said the same thing. When it comes to you can be body positive, but let's not fool anybody here. When it comes to like certain health, blah 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 blah. But yeah, this is one thing she said, and I'm not sure if she got any backlash from that. I'm sure somebody said something, but yeah, if it's not Ari Spears, no disrespect to him, he's a funny guy. But when you look at him, not really the picture of clean health either. You know what I mean? But I
I
guess he
don't,
knows.
I don't, I don't, I don't, I don't. Okay, I'll meet you halfway because that's what we do here on Cal Park Bros. Everything's a fucking compromise. I'll meet
Sure,
you halfway.
sure.
Is part of it the messenger? Yes. Is part of it also the message? A little bit, a little bit.
Okay, I don't want to go too much into this, bro, because I feel like this is like a segment on its own.
Not
But
tonight though.
no, no, not tonight. Not tonight. Maybe for the next episode, maybe. But yeah, let's not go too hard into that because that I think that definitely is own segment worthy. But I definitely hear you when it comes to messenger, partly message, maybe okay. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, so one thing I will say about the Lizzo performance is that like I just observed like why you ain't got no background dancers.
I have to say she probably didn't need them. So well, no,
that's debatable.
not because of the dancing, not because of that. But what I'm saying is, what's the purpose of a backup dancer or a backup singer, right? What's really the point? And for Lizzo in all her glory, not trying to be funny, but in all her glory, does she really need backup dancers or singers? Again, not referencing the dancing. I'm referencing the part of the benefit or the point of backup dancers and singers. Not sure she really needed it. So,
I mean, I know Outkast the way you move would have been different without backup dancers. Just saying.
well, again, we're not talking about anybody else. We're talking about Lizzo.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was something that I observed, and I like Lizzo as an artist. I don't love her as an artist. I'm not a hater, but I'm not President L.
No, you are a
L.
hater, just not of Lizzo.
I don't think I'm a hater. I'm a
You
lover,
are.
not a fighter.
You okay?
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was entertaining. And if nothing else, it's like, okay, I do have to share this little aside. Having watched it with my mom and my sister,
Which is funny, by the way.
yes. So I am going to challenge you to guess the artist when my mother said this. That man is feminine as hell.
Lil Nas X.
Ding, 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 ding.
Did you have to explain to her why that might be?
No. I mean, clearly my mother does not have a problem with this sort of thing. She just said it and delivered it in such a way that I thought was hilarious. And it definitely added to the V.M.As as an event. So I was like, what was your first guess when he had his ass out?
Hashtag ass out.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that concludes our segment on the 2022 V.M.As. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about school districts being into paddling kids on Cal Park Bros.